Alright, welcome back.
Welcome back. We are playing The Feud.
Okay, so Derek has just informed me of some news that I was unaware of that I have to bring up.
Magic the Gathering is imploding. Or, let me phrase that. Hasbro
is trying to murder Wizards of the Coast.
is making Wizards of the Coast implode, pretty much.
A classic.
Which happens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not how I play this game.
We've all been there.
So, good old Wizards of the Coast has a lot of different stuff. Oh, there's honey. I'm confused. Okay.
I don't know, all I know is that you're collecting flowers.
I mean, like we have been for the last...
Yeah.
So, they recently introduced a new thing called the 30th-year anniversary of Magic the Gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Which, oh, that's sweet, cool, yeah, woohoo, we'll take it. Except, these cards are on this thing called the Reserve List, which is cards they said they'd never reprint.
Yep.
They lied.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, are you telling me that a corporation lied to you?
But Chris,
man, how crazy.
You don't want to spend over $1,000 for 60 random cards?
See,
that's absurd, right?
That is absurd. That's the one thing that when you told me that earlier, I was just like, holy shit, that's worse than Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Is known for being, like, really
super
fucking
greedy
weird with its pricing.
But, like, I heard that, and I was just like, what?
See, at least Yu-Gi-Oh! When they do something weirdly scammy, at least you have the option of winning it big if you get super lucky, right? Like, they have the, I just call them the Ghost Rare boxes, because that's all people buy them for. They're, like, $60.
Chase rares, I think, is the term they actually use in cards.
Well, no, in this case, they literally created a new rarity for these boxes that they refer to as Ghost Rares.
That is fucking dumb, and I love it.
Yeah. And they're literally reprints of, like, first-gen cards, but they're in this really dope, like, metallic silver.
No, I've seen those, actually. I've seen them.
They look so good, but they're also, like, $1,000 to $2,000, depending on what one you want, if you buy it secondhand, so good fucking luck. But, the Ghost Rare boxes, they're like, you get, like, fucking 10 cards in a box, and they're, like, $60 for the fucking, like, 10 cards, and that is weirdly cheaper than fucking, it's, like, what they're doing.
But, like, 60 random cards from the original set of Magic.
Yeah.
For $1,000.
Yeah. And they don't even Ghost Rare print any of them?
But it's not actually $1,000, because you're not taking into account tax, which we'll just say $200 for tax, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's absurd.
That is absurd.
For 60 random cards that you can't even use in tournaments.
Yes.
That's another part, because they have a different back.
Yeah.
So they're not tournament legal.
I can't believe they printed them with a different back. That kind of just ruins collector value as it is, too. Because now they're just like...
and they're on this thing called the Reserve List, which is a list they said they'd never reprint.
Yeah.
And they reprinted these cards.
Are you telling me a corporation lied to us?
Yeah. Yeah. And what I love is there's this guy who's like a person from Wizards of the Coast, from Magic the Gathering Company, who's like kind of like a human relations PR guy.
Yeah. And
he basically said, like, somebody asked him in the comment, if you want to, like, hey, what's the deal? Are you guys going to slow down on your product release? And they were just like, no, not really. I was like, oh boy.
I mean, they can't.
No.
Their parent company tells them no, they gotta know.
And here's another one they did. I guess there was one Twitch stream or something where everybody was asking, like, hey, can you slow down on the product release? We're getting product fatigue. They, like, they banned everybody in that Twitch chat because everybody was asking them, so they just banned everybody in the Twitch chat.
I mean, that is how you solve your problems on Twitch.
I was just like,
that's why we're on YouTube.
I was just like, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, that's about right.
I was like, that's insane.
So what I do find funny about this is, like, it's funny to me because I'm listening to this and all I can think of is just like, so what you're telling me is that, what is it, Hasbro owns
Hasbro's, yep.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is that Hasbro is literally trying to make them Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, pretty much.
higher prices for lower rarities, reprints, and fucking
Too many products.
and releasing products every like couple months instead of every like yearish.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm just sitting here like, see, the problem here is, and this is the most important part about this that people don't realize, is that the problem is that Magic has set rotation, which is good for the tournament scene, but not if you release cards so fast that you literally push out your own set rotation within like a year and a half.
Yeah. It's just insane.
It is.
Because there's different formats in Magic. And one of them is Standard, which is, like, I think the three most newest sets.
Yeah.
Nobody plays Standard. And I mean nobody plays Standard because there's too many cards.
Yeah, there's too many. There's no time for a meta to develop for Standard because they literally are releasing fucking packs too quickly for there to be a set rotation. That's what I'm saying, man, is, like, the reason stuff like this... Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Does this shit all the time with re-releases and reprints and all that shit. But,
so I looked it up because I was curious.
Yeah.
So, as it stands... We got 4 proper sets of Magic this year.
Yeah.
Last year there was 5.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Which means they're probably going to release another one this year. Because this year isn't over yet.
No, it just happened. They literally just released another one.
Okay. Well, you know why, though, right?
Why?
It's because they're owned by Hasbro, and Wizards of the Coast hasn't been making a profit recently, so they're trying to justify their existence to Hasbro.
Yeah.
This has literally been happening with not just Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro, but like literally across the entire fucking market right now is companies trying to justify their existence.
There's a lot of companies that are going to... I think crash is the word I'm looking for.
Dude, Marvel Comics, DC Comics, Cartoon Network, fucking,
I might go back and play some more of those just because they gave us ingredients and they're kind of fun to do.
They are kind of fun. So I respect that. But yeah, fucking, yeah, there's just like... You get just like list off names. There's a few movie studios that I can't remember the name of right now. They're all just sitting there trying to justify their existence. Oh, a ton of streaming platforms right now are trying to be like, no, we actually have like 1 billion subscribers if you change the numbers around.
Twitch is falling apart.
Twitch is falling apart, Twitter's falling apart. It's because they all need to justify their existence to their fucking corporate overlords, or they're going to be shut down. And I don't think people are realizing how bad this could get. This could get way worse before it gets better.
We're back on the cover.
Because as much as you know, Magic is considered the creme de la creme king of the card game landscape, and rightfully so. They're the ones that really need to justify their existence because unlike their competition of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!, who can subsidize their shit with merchandise sales, cartoons, comics, mangas, video game releases, Magic only has the card game. Yeah. If they can't make a profit off the card game, they're just fucked.
So, yeah, it's weird because, like... So Wizards owns both Magic the Gathering and D&D.
They also own Duel Masters, by the way.
I don't fucking remember what that is.
Duel Masters was Magic's attempt to break into the Japanese anime card game scene because Yu-Gi-Oh! Was doing too good for their liking, so they were just like, we're gonna make our own Yu-Gi-Oh! With blackjack and hookers.
I love that expression.
And it did alright. It's still being played to this day, so it's doing better than a lot of anime card games, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, there's a lot of different crap.
Yeah, so frankly, when I hear that bad things are happening to Wizards of the Coast, I just get a big smile on my face because they're the same people that think orcs are racist. So I frankly couldn't give two shits what happens to their company.
Oh, dude. That is,
Also, they directly compete with Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is my favorite card game, so haha.
Yeah. I've been debating, because occasionally I'll walk in Target and I'll see, like, one of those pre-made decks, and I'm like, I should buy this and play it with Chris again. Buy two pre-made decks and we'll play Yu-Gi-Oh!
You'd probably destroy me with just 2 pre-made decks at this point, because all my decks are ancient.
No, well, 2 pre-made decks, 1 for you, 1 for me. Playing them, you know?
I love it because I was talking to someone, and they were like, when's the last time you bought Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards? I'm like, when did they add synchros?
Years ago? Okay.
Fucking, yeah, I mean, I completely skipped XYZs. I completely skipped Links. I mean, now I play the digital card games, I know how they work, but I just skipped them completely.
What I love is, you do what I did, which was, you skip a bunch of stuff, and you're just like, how do I play this again?
See, no, the irony is that, like, Synchros, I argue, is the most confusing mechanic, right? Because you needed to have a monster and then a tuner monster that levels equaled the amount that you needed to synchro into. Way too fucking...
Synchro is so weird,
Yeah,
man.
way too fucking convoluted for what it was. XYZ and fucking Links are easy. XYZ is literally... If this card has the same numbers as this card, you can overlay them to bring out the guy who has the same numbers. Easy to follow.
Okay.
Links are even easier. It's literally just, if it has one link, you sacrifice one monster to put it on the field. If it has two links, you sacrifice two monsters to put the link monster on the field. If it has more than one link, you can use a link monster as the material, and if it has more than one link, you can use that towards the count. So if you have two links,
you've already confused me.
No, it's literally basic math, and it's easy, right? It's just like, if you want to bring out like a 3-link, and you have a 2-link on the field, you can sacrifice the 2-link and a regular monster, and that will just count as 3 links instead of having to get rid of 3 monsters for 3 links.
Oh, okay.
Super fucking easy to figure out. Synchros are the ones that were just like, you need to summon a monster that has 3 stars, and then a monster that also has 3 stars but is a tuner so that you can synchro summon a level 6 synchro, and then it's like, shut up.
I like to say this when I'm playing Magic and you have a bad turn.
Yeah.
I'm just over here playing good old fair Magic, you know?
Yeah.
I tap everything, I play one monster, and I pass my turn.
See, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a similar one where you open a bad hand and it's set 2 and pass, where you set one monster in defense and one trap card and you just pass turn. It's set 2 and pass.
I'm over here playing fair Yu-Gi-Oh!
I'm playing classic Yu-Gi-Oh, baby. Set 2 and pass.
Oh, dude, it's bad. Card games are interesting. There's a new one out right now, and it's one of those online ones, and I think it's called Marvel Snap.
Yes, I've been seeing fucking ads all over the place.
All over the place. And supposedly people are, like, liking it.
I'm not a fan of it because it's what I refer to as a lane card game, and I've never liked lane card games.
Tell me about lane card games, Chris.
Lane card games are... So essentially there's like 3 zones you can play a card game.
A lane. I heard lame, and I was just
no, lane as in like a
hallway. But you love Teppen.
I do love Teppen, which is a lane hallway.
Dude, you said that, and I was just like, wasn't Teppen that thing?
Teppen doesn't work like a typical lane card game, and I'll explain why in a second. So a typical lane card game, and the reason I don't like it is lanes are set up as individual games themselves, and then the winner of those lanes determines who wins the game in total.
Okay.
Teppen still has a standard Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic the Gathering life point system, where you have to actually beat the hero to actually win. But you can play in the lanes to block things.
Oh, okay.
But you're not actually playing the lane. Where Teppen and the Hearthstone game were based around lane winning. Or not Hearthstone, League of Legends card game. Or based on a lane system where you would need to win each...
I know what you're talking about, I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, like you would need to win like 2 out of 3 lanes to win the game, and I'm just like, this is a stupid mechanic. You're making your card game unnecessarily complicated for no fucking reason.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of those.
No, I mean, fucking... In fairness, it's better than fucking the League one, which died almost immediately because it was too fucking complicated. Because you literally played... The League one was the worst one, because you literally had to switch screens to see each individual lane, because every lane was its own Yu-Gi-Oh! Level size board. You could play, gross. Like... You could literally play a whole game in one lane, but they expected you to fucking drag that shit across 3 separate boards, and I'm like, no.
No thanks.
Like, this is ridiculous.
That's a no bueno for me.
This is way too much shit going on. No one is going to be able to follow this. And I played the Naruto card game. No one is going to be able to follow this.
I love when you use that as the reason to things. I played the Yu-Gi-Oh! I played the Naruto card game.
Dude, I have a love-hate relationship with the OG Naruto card game, and a lot of it is because, like, the card game was unique and interesting and fun when you understood what the fuck you were doing.
But getting to that point...
getting to that point is obnoxious because the amount of shit you just needed to know was absurd.
I occasionally would see, what's it called? Dragon Ball card game.
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of want
which one?
The newest
There's
one, probably.
3 of them now.
The newest one.
Yeah.
And I saw it, I'm like, I kind of want to pick up some of these and learn to play it with Chris. He'd probably get a kick out of that. And then I go, I'm not wasting my money on it.
Dude, I can't get into card games anymore, mainly because, like...
Too much money?
They're too much money, and I'm too old
Yeah.
to keep learning all these fucking card
Yeah,
game
I get
mechanics.
that. I get that.
There's a joke in the Yu-Gi community, the Yu-Gi-Oh community, that is essentially if you played before synchros exist, especially if it's before synchros were added to the game, you're just called a Yu-Gi boomer. So if you're playing a deck that doesn't use, like, the extra deck, or doesn't go into huge combo plays, or fucking, like, doesn't have any other monsters, you're just called a Yu-Gi boomer. And I'm just sitting there and it's like, man, it's a good thing I'm good at card games, or my Yu-Gi boomerness would absolutely ruin me in this game. Because I'll just, like, only play fusions, or I'll play decks with no extra monster deck, and I'll, like, still win just because I'm like, I understand the mechanics. You just want to look for the right kind of cards and you can deal with everything.
Yes.
My favorite card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's a card that's considered so bad that no one runs anymore, is Fissure. Fissure destroys a monster on the field with the lowest attack.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about. I've seen it.
It destroys a card
I think
on
I
the
have a
field with
couple
the lowest
copies of
attack.
it.
But it's like a first print Yu-Gi-Oh! card.
Yeah,
it's
I have
super
some.
fucking old. But because it's so old, it doesn't target. It just destroys the monster with the lowest card on the field. And because a lot of the big boss monsters now have you can't target this card with card effects and or destroy them.
They have basically what's called hexproof in Magic.
Yeah. So essentially you just, like, you kill all their other monsters on the field, and then you just, like, fissure on main phase 2 and destroy their boss monster, and then laugh as your Blue Eyes deck from 2008 is winning. You laugh in Kaiba.
Laugh in Kaiba? Yes.
And you just laugh in Kaiba.
Oh my god, yes.
No, Derek, you're about to lose.
Oh, it's all good. Time ran out.
Okay.
Laugh in Kaiba.
You laugh in Kaiba. It's a ton of fun. Nothing is more fun than playing the absolutely atrocious garbage Blue Eyes deck and still winning games because your deck is just stupid.
I play 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. I fusion them into 3 ahead blue.
I summon them into Ultimates. What is it? Fucking Ultimate Blue Eyes
Ultimate
White
Blue
Dragon.
Eyes White Dragon.
And then immediately get fissured in me.
Yep.
Turn 1.
How many copies of a card can you have in a deck in Yu-Gi-Oh?
In Yu-Gi-Oh, it's 3 max.
3 max? Okay.
I know in Magic it's
Right.
4.
Because
In Pokemon, it's
Kaiba
also
rips up
4.
the 4th because he doesn't need it in his deck.
You know, is it the 4th? I can't even remember.
Yeah, that's in the original
There was 4.
anime. There was 4 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon.
I thought there was only 3 in the original, but I could be mistaken.
No,
It's been so
Kaiba had 3 of them, and Grandpa
Yeah,
had
he
1.
wanted all of them.
And he was like, "I'm gonna have all 3 or all of them." But then he ripped it up because you can only have 3 in a deck, so
Yeah,
might
it
as well
doesn't
just
matter.
get rid of it.
That is true.
I'm Seto Kaiba. Fuck you.
I'm literally the Yu-Gi-Oh man. I invented this card game.
Yes, I love it. It's really great.
Actually, what's his name invented the card game?
Maximilian Pegasus.
Maximilian invented it, even though fucking Kaiba is the one printing and selling the card
Which
game
made
for his company,
no
which doesn't make any
sense to me.
sense. Yeah.
But whatever.
My favorite is, and also he's a liar because technically the Egyptians built
Yeah.
it, so fuck him.
By him, he only knows about it because he found out about it.
My favorite is see so Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh is
Badass.
it's cool, but it has the same problem that like Japanese Power Rangers has, where like they don't understand how to capitalize on a good thing.
Chris, it's not Power Rangers.
It's Super Sentai.
It's Super
yeah,
Sentai,
yeah, yeah.
man. Get it right, my friend.
Fucking technically, it's the fucking I I can't even remember the name of it to make the joke, so I can't
Super
do it.
Genshai Genplay.
Yeah, I'm like, it's technically the Genjin whatever.
Genjin Senpai Dumara.
Yeah, bullshit. That's actually a combination of all of Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, as well as Giga Man and...
and Giga Chads.
But yeah, fucking... well, they because they killed off Maximilian Pegasus.
Yeah.
In the original manga. And I'm just like, you people don't understand what a good thing is. It's the same thing when they killed off the Green Power Ranger in fucking Super Sentai. You guys don't understand how to capitalize on merch and good things. They kept that motherfucker around for 4 Power Ranger generations.
More than that. Well, that's because they were different characters behind it. They just took the fight scenes from it, and
true.
they changed the entire show.
That is true.
Which, I feel like Power Rangers is a little cooler than Super Sentai and some of them.
Super Sentai has more emotional weight behind it.
Yeah.
But, like, because it's made for a slightly older audience.
Yeah, like a teenage audience.
Yeah, where Power Rangers was more aimed for children. But Power Rangers definitely has more shit going on and way more fan service going on. They love bringing characters in and fucking having crossover episodes. Fucking hell, they had a crossover with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one season.
I think I remember that. Dude, have you ever looked up the Power Ranger comics?
Yes.
They're awesome.
They are really good. It's just like in the just like the show, it's based for like a much older audience, which is weird because they're comics. Normally, that's the reverse of what people try and do.
But they're really cool. I've read a little of them, and they have one that's like alternate reality, and where the Green Power Ranger becomes like evil. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah, that's the best one.
It's the best one. I think it's called Shatter Reality.
We have not picked it up. I want to pick it up, but I haven't picked it up yet because there's like a definitive version, but they haven't released it physically yet. But I know they're going to eventually. There's a Power Ranger fighting game.
I heard about this.
Battle for the Grid.
Yes, I was going to pick it up. It was on sale at one point, and I was like, I should pick this up and play it with Chris.
I was going to pick it up, but I've been waiting for the definitive version, because there's a better I knew they were going to re-release a better version when more DLC characters came out, and they did,
make a lot
but
of
I
DLC
haven't
characters.
found it yet.
Okay.
But I know it's out there, because I've seen it.
Well, I might be going to Best Buy later today, so...
If you see the one that includes all the DLC characters, don't be fooled. There's like a day one version or whatever that gives the illusion like, oh, this might be the one that has all the stuff. It is not. But that's based off of that comic.
Yeah, I know.
Where the Green Power Ranger is the bad guy.
Bad guy.
And it's really good.
Yeah.
What we would call a fucking masterpiece of human engineering. There was some guy who was like... Every now and again, you get like a super dark, like Power Rangers fan thing, and then everyone on the internet is like, "This is what Power Rangers should be," and I'm like, I don't think people fully grasp the point of Power Rangers.
No, they don't. They don't.
Like it's kind of meant to be goofy and ridiculous. It's like half the charm of the show.
It's great.
It's kind of the equivalent of when people... It's kind of like the equivalent of, like, watching Pokemon and then they make a fan Pokemon where the Pokemon literally murder each other. And this is like... And then they're like, this is what Pokemon always should have been. And I'm like, I think you guys missed the point of Pokemon.
Yeah, I always love when people use that logic. And it's just like, don't you understand? That's not...
Yes.
Okay.
Not quite what the point is.
Yeah, people are dumb.
Yeah, people are people. But now that we've been distracted and super sidetracked, I do want to end my statement with, I do find it funny that Magic the Gathering is fucking up their own card game, and the players are pissed, mainly because Magic players are some of the most pretentious fucking people I've ever talked to in my life.
It's so fucking weird because, you know, that was part of the reason why I was into Magic a little bit in college.
Yeah.
And then I stopped playing because, you know, you go to a card store and they're like, ugh! And you're just like, okay, I came here to play some games and I don't want to listen to internet trolls being internet trolls in person.
How dare you?
Yeah, pretty much.
How dare you? You must enjoy.
So, are we over time?
We're not over time just yet, but now would be probably a good time to call it. So, we'll see you guys in the next part, and we'll see you guys then.